So it's been 18 months today since I bought the XFR. And let me tell you, it's been a wild one. From the insane performance, well, we'll get onto that, to some of the headaches. I've learned a lot about living with this car day to day. Let's get into the video. Welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, my name's Snides and I like to break stuff. No, I'm joking. This one's going to be something a little different because I don't normally film from inside the gaff and whatnot because I'm always out and about doing stuff. But currently it is raining, it's cold outside. I don't really want to be stood outside in the wind and rain saying, this is my car, hello, I like YouTube and I'm an autism. But yeah, we're going to be going through things I like about it, things I don't like about it, first impressions, how much I've spent on it so far, including buying the car, and I'm basically just going to give you a little insight into what it's like to own a Mondeo. First impressions, why? Why the XFR? Cut a long story short, years ago I used to work for a company and my boss at the time had one, and he had I think it was an XFR 100 Le Mans edition in white. It had pipes and stuff on it. It sounded wicked, and it was at that moment in time it was the fastest thing I'd ever been in. And one day he just was like, yeah, you can drive. And I've never experienced such a rush from putting my foot down and just taking off. Like it was like I was in an airplane and I was going on holiday on the runway. It was mental. Cut forward like probably 8 years, 9 years, I was getting married and I was looking for a wedding car. I was looking at wedding car hire and what to get, what to hire, how much stuff was and this and that. And I thought, oh, I'll have a look at these. And I found one and it was black. It was incredible, to be fair. I bought it from Sytner, South London. I think it was 22 grand or something. So yeah, I bought that for the wedding, and my intention was to keep it, but then we had other commitments that we sort of had to do, so I had to let that go. It was a sad day for me, but it was like ultra low mileage, ultra clean, ultra standard. I never did anything to it. Tell a lie, I did remove one of the center silencers just to give it a bit more beef, but if I'm honest, it didn't make any difference. But I was still new to the Jag game then, and I didn't know about any of the forums, and there was no group to help me out or anything. So I didn't really have any of the information that I needed to make it happen. And plus, I'd spent every penny I had on the wedding and on that car, so I didn't really have capital for modifications. But yeah, I let that go, and then a year went past or so, and I was just browsing the net one day, and I was like, oh, quite miss my XFR actually. So got on Auto Trader, started scrolling through, started at like lowest first and was like shed, 100,000 miles, blown engine, shed, rusty, shed, Cat D, Birmingham, Bradford, Bolton. And yeah, and then I found one and it was in, where's that posh place on the way to Wales? I don't know, down the M5 somewhere. I don't know, somewhere posh anyway. And the guy seemed like nice. He'd had it for a year or so and he'd spent some money on it, getting it fixed, like all the common problems like the BCM and all that stuff. It was up for 20 grand. I made an offer on it and got it for just shy because it had done 40,000 miles when I'd got it. So it was still absolutely immaculate, standard, boring grey, chrome pack. It was horrible, to be fair. But I bought it home and my apprentice at the time said, why you bought that? That's a proper granddad wagon. And I was like, do you know what it is? And he was like, no, I've never seen one before. So I was like, right, get in. Took him out in it and he was like, whoa. He was like, but it's still an absolute granddad wagon to look at. And I says, don't worry about that. I've got a plan. Personally, at the time, I liked the sleeper appeal because you could surprise stuff and you could get from A to B quick if you really wanted to. But that didn't last long, did it? Because we started with the mods. We are going to be obviously going through the costings along the way in this video. So we started off, obviously I slapped some decent tyres on it. So I got some Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. They were, I think, 850 quid. Then I got the wheels refurbed. That was another 250 quid on top of that. But yeah, I sent it off to the powder coaters. There's a powder coater local, BW Powder Coating. And he's very, very good. He's about 20 minutes away. Gets stuff back to you the next day, thereabouts anyway, sometime. What did I do in it first? Oh, yeah, I was like, I need to do something with the noise situation, because there is none. It was silent. So I hit up Zorstworks and they sent me out their back box delete kit. It was £350 exactly. So I put that on and was like, oh my God, this is life-changing. So we went on the Swiss rally with True Rally. If you want to do a bit of research, you can go on their website. Lee Lockwood runs it. He does this shit, really, does YouTube and among other things. But he this is one of his separate businesses, because he wanted to put out a way for people who don't have gumball money to get on and you know what I mean? Like a budget version of Gumball / the Cannonball Run. And it's good because you get like 25 cars, 50 people from all different walks of life. And you never leave a man in the field. So if anybody has a problem, everybody helps out to a certain degree. And it was incredible. We took the XFR through France, into Switzerland, through all the Alps, into Italy, through Stelvio Pass. I might have put a little clip there. Into Austria, and then there was an activity at the end where we went down the world's longest toboggan run, which was sick, to be fair. And it was like, I don't know, I think it was 700 quid each or something, and that covers your outward ferry, your food at night, your hotels, your drinks at night with your food, like you get, and your breakfast. So all you've got to buy on top of that is your fuel and your snacks and like drinks along the way, sort of thing. Like, and the XFR averaged 29 miles per gallon going across Switzerland across that whole road trip. It was like 3,000 miles. I think it was 2,800 in total. But then we came back a different way, so we didn't quite drive as far as everybody else because we came back from Rotterdam to Hull rather than Calais to Dover. Because getting down to Dover initially took like 9 hours, so it was just a bit, oh God, yeah, I don't even want to think about that because that was not a great start to the holiday. But yeah, we got back and then I got talking to Dud from Raptor Customs and we decided that we was going to push for a bit more power. So I bought the Stage 3, well, they don't call it stage. Stages is bollocks, isn't it? The max one that you could get at the time, which was the level 3 tuning package, which consisted of a smaller supercharger pulley, a larger crank pulley, uprated belt, uprated charge cooler, uprated water pump. I say uprated, actually it was just a Bosch one, because the one that other company sellers uprated is just one from China, and it's not. They fail, or they were known to fail. And then we did cat delete, meow meow delete, and then took it to the dyno. And then obviously, like, I don't know if you guys remember, if you've not seen that video, you can go back and watch it because it was on here. And the total cost for all of the above was 3,750 English pounds. There was a couple extras in there as well, but like it was around there, and that was, we fitted it together sort of thing, so I got to help and get some content for you guys. By the way, if you've not already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking the button below. Give it a like and a thumbs up and a comment, and also go through the comments, and if there is no comments, leave a comment. If there are comments, go through and like all their comments because it helps the algorithm, and then maybe I can start getting some money. Which would be sick because I need a supercar. I need a supercar in my life. Oh my God. Yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm going off track. That's ADHD in its finest form. I actually boiled the kettle nearly 10 minutes ago and I've not been and made a coffee yet. So be right back. Right, I'm back. Got my coffee. Real gamers play Xbox, by the way. But yeah, next port of call. So after we did the stage 3 tune, I went on the Welsh rally. Including that, we had the handling package installed, which consisted of lower arm bushes, lower springs on the standard shocks, etc., etc. And then we did Wales, and then it went a little bit quiet after that because I didn't really have time because it got to peak winter. So come November, December, I ordered my body kit from China with a load of carbon fiber bits and that. Just shy of 3,000 Great British pounds. Yeah, that came. So I had to send the bumper to the body shop, which came to, I think it was like £500, not taking into account petrol getting to and from to deliver and fetch freshly painted bumper. So we got that. We installed that on the driveway. There was another video there somewhere. We didn't film it all because it was just Baltic cold. I ordered some cone filters from Americaland from, I can't remember the name of the company, but they sent me some free carbon fiber canards for my standard XFR bumper, which obviously didn't fit the RS bumper. But we installed that and installed the cone filters. I think they were £350. I think that's what it equated to with the conversion to dollars. And then we went to the Nürburgring in May, and it was cool. It was sick. Oh no, before that, no. Sorry. April, we went to install the big brake kit, and that was 3,540 Great British pounds for the 6-pot 410mm discs and floating discs and 6-pot calipers. And then we also had some floating discs, bigger ones, fitted to the rear as well. Then we went to the Nürburgring and obviously boiled the fluid because we only had .4 on the shelf available at the time, which should have been enough for any normal driver, but not for me because I break everything. Honestly, I break everything. And yeah, we got back and I was like, right, okay, so we need to change the fluid. So I sort of left it for a bit because it was coping absolutely fine on the road, even under harsh braking and whatnot. It was just the Nürburgring just killed my brakes basically. At which point I ordered my custom air suspension kit, which was, God, don't tell the wife, 3,500 Great British pounds. We, after the Nürburgring, we installed them again, all done on the driveway. No fishing in any labour, because if you was to take labour into account of fitting any of that, you would be upwards of £6,000. And then after that, we headed back to the Nürburgring after putting the better fluid in and tested out the air suspension. Been a few teething problems with the air suspension in a sense of they've had to send me some larger cups. You'll probably see that in the other video. I think I know that I've got a problem with the driver's side bag because it struggles to get to height after it's been aired out. It sort of gets stuck on itself. And it's happened since I've got it. I've tried lubing it up and whatnot, but we're still there. But yeah, as it stands right now, I am the owner of the only bagged stage 3 XFR, XFRS body kit, big brake weapon in the country. And I just want to tell you a little bit about how it's been for the last 18 months. I could still daily drive. Oh no, one more thing to add in there. And that was the valved exhaust system, which was, I think it was £1,300, thereabouts. I can't remember exactly. Now it's not got the back box delete and stuff on it. I could very comfortably daily drive it because it's a comfortable GT car when going about doing daily business. But when you want it to be an animal, you just press the paddle, come down a few gears, put it into manual and send it like an absolute rocket ship. And the suspension is great, handles great. Obviously being a I think it's 1.8 ton ish, it's not the ideal track car. It's okay on the Nürburgring because it's quite a big track, but on Cadwell, for example, it wasn't in its element. It was squirming about, trying to do stuff that it's not actually designed to do. I think it would be okay at Donington. I'm going to try Donington before the year's out. Fuel consumption is to be expected as a V8. Like, it's as good as you want it to be. If you want to cruise and just be normal in it, yeah, you'll still see 30, 31, 32 miles per gallon on a run. You'll average around 22, 24 if you are being fun. And if you're planning on being a criminal, you'll be in single figures all day long. People are always saying, oh, you bought a Land Rover, oh, it's a Jaguar, no. Reliability. Like, other than basic serviceable items, basic servicing, I've not really had any big bills with it. Like, I had a drive shaft snap, but in my defence, I was doing a burnout, and if it hadn't snapped then, it would have snapped on the Switzerland road trip. I think that cost me, I don't know, 80 quid or something for a drive shaft secondhand. Took about an hour to fit. That's it. That's the only thing I've really had go wrong with it. And sometimes, every now and again, the washer jets are a bit shit, but I think the pump's actually on its way out or will become apparent. Running costs, servicing, General servicing, like, it's no different if you just treat it like a, imagine, how can I explain it? I had a Subaru and I used to have to service that every 3,000 miles. It was the Jap import STI. And that thing, you was constantly having to service it because you'd soon rack up 3,000 mile. This thing, I do it every 5. You don't have to, you can do it every 10 or every 12 months, but I just like to keep the oil fresh. Do you know what I mean? I use it for its intended purpose. And if you look after it, it will continue to look after you. The cam chains are sometimes a bit dodgy, but that one has got the better tensioner in it. So it's it's been sound, to be fair, and it doesn't have the plastic piping on the inlet that can break, and it's been pretty good. Tax, obviously, nearly £800 a year. I don't know exactly how much I've taxed. I've got five vehicles on the road, and it's just one of them. It's part and parcel. Insurance is, well, it was £500 a year. It's now £600 a year because I've got points. Points don't make prizes. Points make expensive insurance quotes. In regards to comfort and my ownership experience, I would fully recommend getting one to anybody who's in the market for something like that. I'd personally say it's better than an M5 in a sense of it's a bit more understated. Parts aren't generally as expensive. You don't have M tax. It's fairly cheap to run in a sense of what other 600-700 horsepower car can you, do you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's comfy. The interior's really feels expensive for what it is, considering it's just basically a Mondeo. The infotainment obviously is, well, the car's it's 15 years old now. It's not going to be top of the range as such. Even the infotainment in my SVR, that's only like 6 years old, and even that's not incredible. It's better than the XFR, but it's not incredible. It's a little bit dated, but that's Jaguar Land Rover. That is they're not all about the infotainment like Audi and Mercedes, are they? So it's after 18 months, what annoys me about it, the fact that I don't get to use it as much as I'd like to. Little things there are little niggles, like you still get little rattles. I go around fixing them. You're taking the door cards off and putting new, like, the sound deadening around the wires inside the door cards. And what else? I'm getting bored now talking about it. Door mechanisms, like the locking mechanisms, they're shit. I have got a problem with mine at the minute where it doesn't unlock. I can do it manually, but it won't work on the fob. So it's like solenoid or some bollocks like that. But every time I start it up on cold start, it does get me horny as fuck. And I just know once it's up to temperature, any junction. Oh no, something else that does annoy me about it is the diff, the E-diff. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Sometimes I just want to come out of a junction, bolt sideways, as you do. Like, don't look at me like that. It's everybody does it, I think. Yeah, sometimes it will work. Sometimes it will just do like a one-wheel peel, or it just won't. It will try and override, even with all the aids off. It will try and override what you're trying to tell it to do, which can be annoying. It's great when you want to drive it fast and the E-diff's working, doing its job. Who invited you to the party? But when you want to, like, I don't know, be a BMW driver or whatever, you end up looking like a Mustang driver. But yeah, 18 months, that's the longest I have owned a vehicle, like, ever. Literally ever. So they must have done something right with it. Obviously, future modifications are coming, possibly, unless somebody hits me up in the DMs and wants to sell me an M2 competition or an Audi R8 or an R35, and take my car in Part X. But I need top whack because I'm skint, brev. Skint. Yeah, a few little visual mods to do, like a bit more carbon, maybe some new wheels. That's pretty much it, really. There's not what more. How far can you go? Like, there's not tons more that you can do. It's sort of at a stage now where, do I send it in for a crazy paint job, in for a crazy wrap? What's like? It's not gonna make it any more sick. But yeah, closing the video now. 18 months in, I can honestly say the XFR has been one of the most exciting and interesting cars I've ever owned. It's not perfect, far from it. But if you want a proper performance saloon that feels special every time you drive it, it's hard to beat. For me, it's been worth every headache. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe because I've got some big plans coming in the next video and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in a bit.